You are here. That is enough. Whatever you carried into today, set it on the floor beside the bed. Whatever you carried into the last hour, set that down too. The room you are about to enter does not need any of it. There is a hallway inside you tonight. Long, cool, soft underfoot. At the far end of it, a great room. And lining the walls of that room, 50 doors. Behind each door, a different version of you. Some of them have already done what you are still trying to do. Some have already become who you are slowly becoming. Some are waiting for you, and have been waiting longer than you know. Tonight, you will meet one of them. Before you walk down the hallway, breathe in slowly. Out slowly. Again. In slowly. Out slowly. This practice asks you to believe nothing. Whoever you understand to be in this room with you, God, the saints, your ancestors, your higher self, your future self, your unconscious mind, the universe, the part of your brain that imagines, or simply you, talking to yourself. They are welcome here. The mechanism is yours to choose. The practice is the same. You may close your eyes now if they are not already closed. You may set your screen face down if it is not already down. The room does not need light. The room does not need anyone watching. It only needs you. The hallway is real enough now to walk. Each step, unhurried. Each breath, a little slower than the last. The walls of the hallway are warm to the touch. The floor is soft. Dark stone, polished wood. You may choose, but it is not important. The ceiling is high, and arches softly upward. At the end of the hallway, the great room opens. You step inside. Around you, 50 doors. You do not need to count them. You do not need to find them all. On some nights, you will only see a few. On some nights, you will see them all at once. On some nights, only one will be lit. Tonight, one of them is calling. Let the pull come to you. Do not search for it. You are drawn to a door. This door is on the right side of the room, about halfway down the wall. The light beneath it is steady, warm, unhurried. You have walked past it many times in your life without seeing it. Tonight you see it. There is no symbol on the door. No name carved into it. No instructions. But you know. You know what this door is. This is the door of the self, who has already forgiven everyone. You may feel something rise as you read those words. That is all right. You may feel resistance. You may feel relief. You may feel exhausted. You may notice a name come up in your mind. A face. A memory. Someone you have not finished forgiving. Someone you may have been trying to forgive for years. Someone you would have to be a different person to forgive at all. You do not have to do anything with it. You only have to walk through this door. The self on the other side will do the rest. Behind this door is the version of you who carried the same wound. And somehow, somewhere along the way, set it down. Not because it was deserved. Not because it was excused. Not because it was forgotten. Set it down because they finally understood. They were the one carrying it. You may take your hand to the door now. The wood is warm. The handle turns. Step through. The room beyond the door is small. Smaller than you expected. Quiet in a way that makes your shoulders drop without permission. There is a single chair across from another chair. A low table between them. A single candle on the table, though the room does not need its light. The walls are warm. Not bright. Not dark. Warm. There are no clocks. There is no ceiling, exactly. Only the suggestion of one. Soft and high and forgiving. In the chair across from yours, the version of you waiting. You sit down. Witness them first. That is the rule of every room in the council. Before words. Before questions. Before anything at all. Witness them. Notice how they are sitting. Their shoulders rest in a way yours have not rested in a long time. Their hands lie open on their lap. Not folded tightly. Not gripping anything. Simply resting, palms half up, fingers gently curled. The hands of someone who has nothing left to clutch. Notice their breathing. Slower than yours. Deeper than yours. The kind of breath you take when you have just remembered something kind. Or when you have just put down a heavy bag. Notice their eyes. They are looking at you, but not in a way that asks anything of you. There is no test in their gaze. No measuring. No checking whether you have understood yet. Their eyes look at you the way a tree looks at the sun. Quietly grateful, and entirely uninvested in your performance. Notice their face. Whatever lines you have are still there. Whatever marks you have are still there. This self has aged exactly as you have aged. They have lived your life. They carry your memories. They have known the same people who hurt you. Nothing has been removed from their history. Only the weight of it has been set down. Notice that they are not in a hurry to speak. They will not rush this. They do not want anything from you. They are simply pleased that you came tonight. Now you may breathe with them. In, slowly. Out, slowly. In, slowly. Out, slowly. The room is patient. You are not late. You did not arrive too early. You are here at the exact moment you were supposed to arrive. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, they will speak. I want to start by saying something you may have been waiting your whole life to hear. You did not deserve what they did. You did not cause it. You did not invite it. You did not earn it through some failure of yours. It was theirs. What they did was theirs. What they said was theirs. The way they treated you was theirs. Their wound, their bitterness, their fear, their exhaustion, their cruelty. All of it was theirs. You were simply the one in front of them when it spilled out. I know this is not the version of forgiveness you expected. The version you may have been told required you to make peace with what they did. To find the silver lining. To understand them. To excuse it. I am not asking you to do any of that. The forgiveness I have done, the one I am here to share with you, does not require excusing. It does not require forgetting. It does not require liking them. It does not require speaking to them ever again. It only requires that you put down what you have been carrying. Most people, when they think of forgiveness, imagine giving something to the other person. They imagine forgiveness as a gift the wrongdoer receives. That is why so many people refuse to forgive. They feel it would be unjust. They feel it would let the other person off the hook. Listen to me carefully. Forgiveness was never a gift to them. Forgiveness is something you do for the version of yourself who is still bleeding. There is a difference between forgiving and excusing. Excusing says, what they did was not so bad. Forgiving says, what they did was wrong, and I am not going to be the one carrying it for them anymore. There is a difference between forgiving and forgetting. Forgetting is what happens to memories that did not matter. Forgiving is what happens to memories that mattered too much, when you finally stop letting them rule the next day, and the next, and the next. There is a difference between forgiving and reconciling. Reconciling means coming back into relationship. Some people you should never reconcile with. Some doors should stay closed. Forgiving has nothing to do with that door. Forgiving is the door you close inside your own chest, so that the room beyond it stops echoing. Let me tell you what I learned. I carried the same name you have been carrying. The same face. The same scene that plays in the dark when sleep should have come and didn't. I rehearsed the speech I would give them. I rehearsed the apology they would give me. I rehearsed the moment they finally understood what they had done, and how they would weep, and how I would magnanimously accept, and how the wound would close. That moment never came. For some of you listening, that moment will not come. The person is dead. The person is gone. The person does not remember. The person remembers and does not care. The person remembers and refuses to acknowledge it. The person would deny it if confronted. I am here to tell you, gently, but clearly. You do not need their participation to be free. I had to learn this slowly. I tried, for years, to extract the apology from them in my head. I replayed the conversation hoping that this time, in the replay, they would finally see. What I did not realize was that every replay was practice. Every replay was carving the wound a little deeper. Every replay was teaching my body that this was the moment that defined me. It wasn't. It was a moment. It was their moment, more than mine. You are not the one who hurt you. The person who hurt you did the hurting once. And your mind has done it 10,000 times since. Most of the pain you carry today is not from the original wound. It is from the rehearsal. The forgiveness I am offering you tonight begins by ending the rehearsal. You may feel resistance to that. Some part of you may say, but if I stop replaying it, I will let them get away with it. If I stop being angry, I will be saying it was okay. If I forgive, I will be betraying the version of me who suffered. I want to speak to that part of you now. Little one. The version of you who suffered does not need you to keep suffering with them. They need you to come back and witness them and tell them it is over. They have been holding on to this on your behalf for a long time. They thought it was their job. They thought if they let go, it meant no one was watching the wound. And if no one watched it, it would not have been real. I am here to tell that part of you. It was real. We saw it. We will never deny that it happened. But you can come home now. You can rest now. You can put it down now. The wound was witnessed. The wound was named. The wound is allowed to close. This is not a weight you have to lift all at once. Forgiveness is rarely a single moment. It is more often 1,000 small surrenders. Each one a little softer than the last. You can begin with one. Tonight, while you sleep, a small piece of it can come loose. Not all of it. Just a small piece. The amount your body is ready to release tonight is exactly the amount that will release. You do not need to force it. You do not need to schedule it. You do not need to perform it. You only need to sit here, with me, and let it loosen on its own. I want to say something about the body. When you forgive, really forgive, the kind I am describing, your body knows before your mind does. Your jaw unclenches. Your shoulders drop 1/4 inch. Your stomach loosens. Your breathing deepens without you noticing. The body has been carrying the resentment in its tissues. Not metaphorically. Literally. The cortisol, the muscle tension, the shallow breath. All of it was the body doing the work of carrying. When forgiveness comes, the body sets it down first. You may notice this happening tonight, even before sleep takes you. Your hands may grow heavier. Your face may relax. You may feel a quiet warmth across the chest, where the resentment had been living. This is not magic. This is your body doing what it has been waiting your whole life to do. There is something I want to say about the people who hurt you. You do not have to know why they did it. You do not have to forgive them by understanding them. For a long time, I tried to forgive by understanding. I told myself, they had a hard childhood. They were under stress. They did not mean it. They were doing their best. They were broken in ways I could not see. Sometimes that was true. Sometimes it wasn't. But I learned that understanding was not required. You can forgive someone you do not understand. You can forgive someone whose reasons you will never know. You can forgive someone you would still keep at arm's length forever. You can forgive someone whose actions you would still call wrong every day for the rest of your life. Forgiveness does not depend on a story about why they did it. Forgiveness depends only on you finally being willing to put it down. I want to say something about the dead. If the person who hurt you is gone, if they died before you could say what needed to be said, or before they could say what you needed to hear, or before either of you grew enough to repair what was broken, you can still forgive them. The forgiveness does not need them to receive it. You can write the letter you would have written. You can speak the words you would have spoken. You can hold the conversation in this room, in this chair, with their seat empty. And the forgiveness still happens. The dead are easier to forgive than the living, sometimes. There is no possibility of being hurt again. There is only the work of releasing what they left in you. For some of you, this means a parent. For some, a sibling who is no longer here. For some, a friend who left before forgiveness was finished. For some, a stranger whose face you barely remember now, but whose actions still play behind your eyes. The room is wide enough for all of them. The chair across from me, beside the empty chair where the wrongdoer would sit. That chair is patient. I want to say something about forgiving yourself. This may be the harder one. For some of you, the person you cannot forgive is not someone else. It is you. The version of you who said the cruel thing. The version of you who left when you should have stayed. The version of you who was not strong enough. The version of you who was not kind enough. The version of you who hurt someone you loved. The version of you who hurt yourself, again and again, for years you cannot get back. I forgive you. I have lived your life. I know exactly what you did. I know why you did it. Even the times you cannot explain. I know what the moment felt like from the inside. I know what came before that made it possible. I know the parts of yourself you were running from when it happened. I am the version of you that has lived past it. I am still here. I did not die from what you did. I did not become unredeemable. I became this. Calm, open-handed, breathing slowly, sitting with you tonight. You can come home. The version of you that did the wrong thing is not the version of you that has to live forever. You are allowed to have been that person, and to have stopped being that person, and to be becoming this person. That is what humans get to do. I want to say something about the people you have not finished forgiving yet. You may have one in mind right now. You may have a list. That is all right. The forgiveness you do tonight is not a final act. It is a deposit. Tonight, you place down a small portion of what you have been carrying. A weight you can spare. The smallest one in the bag. Tomorrow night, you may come back. You may put down another. And another. Some of these you will be putting down for years. That is the pace of healing for some wounds. That is not a failure. That is the body, the mind, and the soul agreeing to release what they were not built to release all at once. You may also discover, over time, that there are people you thought you needed to forgive who you have already forgiven. You will think of them, and the heat will not come. The replay will not start. The story will not finish itself in your head. That is forgiveness completed. It happened while you were sleeping. It happened while you were brushing your teeth. It happened while you were laughing at something else. The body did its work, quietly, without your supervision. I want to say one last thing before you sleep. You did not have to be ready for this conversation tonight. If you fell asleep 3 minutes in, the conversation reached you anyway. If you stayed awake the whole time, the conversation reached you anyway. If you cried, the conversation reached you. If you scoffed, the conversation reached you. If you do not believe a single word I have said, the conversation still reached the part of you that needed it. The mechanism is not the point. You came to a quiet room. You sat across from a version of yourself that has carried the same things and put them down. And now your body knows it is allowed to put them down too. When it is ready, at its own pace, on its own schedule. I will be here tomorrow night. The chair will not move. The candle will not go out. If you need to come back 50 nights in a row before you can name what you need to put down, come back 50 nights in a row. If you only need to come once, the door will close behind you with a soft sound, and the work will still hold. You are allowed to take as long as you need. The self across from you is still there. They have not moved. But you may notice that they are smiling, very faintly. Not at you, exactly. At the fact of you being here. Before you leave the room tonight, there is one small thing. You may stand, slowly. Or you may stay seated. The self across from you stands as well. Or doesn't. Mirroring you. You face one another. They place a hand, gently, on the place where you have been carrying it. For some of you, that is the chest. For some, the throat. For some, the stomach. For some, the back of the neck, where the tension has been living. For some, the hands. Wherever you have been carrying it, they place a hand there. It is warm. It does not press. It does not extract. It simply rests there for a moment, the way warm water rests on cold skin. Then they say, very quietly, I have got it from here. You are released. The hand remains for one more breath. Then it lifts away. And in its place, warmth. A soft, settled warmth, the size of a coin or a small stone. That did not exist before they touched you, and will not leave when you wake. You may step back from them now. You may turn slowly. The door behind you is open. Walk through. Do not look back at the room. The room will be there tomorrow. The self will be there tomorrow. For tonight, you have done enough. The hallway opens around you. It is darker now than when you came in. That is correct. The hallway is making room for sleep. You may walk a few steps, and then stop walking. You may simply stand in the hallway. Or you may continue, and the hallway will gently dissolve around you. There is no wrong way to leave a council room. Wherever you find yourself now. Bed, chair, floor. The soft place between waking and sleeping. Stay there. The work is done. Tomorrow you may notice that something is lighter. You may not name it. You may not connect it to tonight. That is all right. The self in the room is not seeking credit. Sleep is welcome here. You are safe. You are loved. You are forgiven. You are forgiving. You are free.